Hey everybody, it's Joe from greenlightsound.com, and today we've got another Tony Maserati technique. We've been focusing a lot on those lately, and this one has to do with creating a little bit of width in a vocal, specifically a pop-style vocal, without really sounding like you're adding a lot of chorusing or stereo content, but just allowing those vocals to fill the stereo field without being super obvious. And the tool that Tony Maserati used for this is going to be the TC Electronic TC1210 Spatial Expander. This is, of course, a plug-in version of it from TC Electronic. There's a hardware unit as well. The first thing I'd like to do is just go through the settings and exactly what this is doing. So for the effect itself, we have it set to chorus. The speed is 0.97, depth 1.2, delay 3.7, and intensity of 2.7. So if you just click on these buttons, it'll get you through those different settings. And you could change it, of course, to taste, but that's Tony Maserati's exact settings here. In our spatial expander section down here, it's set to wide. You can change it with the shape button here. The L and R button is there, not bypassed. And we've got our spread at 12. This is just input and output. The direct mute button is on, so we're not getting any direct signal in here because this is on a send from the main vocal. We want just the effect. In the vintage section, the asymmetry is 5. The effect here is on 3, and that's all we have to worry about for settings. So what I'm going to do is play the vocal by itself without this effect on. Just the vocal, no other instruments in the mix.
No one's ever been able to stop me in my tracks before. You're a beast, a wild animal.
I'll play the same vocal again, but I'm going to bring this spread channel up. This is the spatial expander on this channel.
No one's ever been able to stop me in my tracks before. You're a beast, a wild animal.
So it might be a little bit hotter than I'd want it by itself. I'll bypass it on and off as it plays. Just check out the solo and mute buttons at the top of the channel.
No one's ever been able to stop me in my tracks before. You're a beast, a wild animal.
So unlike a lot of other stereo effects, this one's not super obvious. It's very subtle, just fills up the stereo field, but doesn't sound really obvious. If we take it out of solo and hear it in the context of the full mix, I could even push this channel up a little bit hotter, and it won't be super obvious that I'm getting a big vocal spread.
No one's ever been able to stop me in my tracks before. You're a beast, a wild animal.
I'll bypass it on and off now with the full mix in context, starting with it muted first, and then just watch the mute button turn on and off.
No one's ever been able to stop me in my tracks before. You're a beast, a wild animal, and I'm the lion that you tame, now under your control. You're like the ghost that follows me wherever I go. You're the music burning down deep in my soul. You move me, then you leave.
So it's a really subtle effect, and a lot of Tony Maserati's effects are kind of subtle like that. You know something's going on. The vocal sounds great, it sounds full, but it's not super obvious like some kind of ping-pong delay or giant reverb that's creating the width. It's just tiny little bit of really slight delayed chorusing happening that's creating that effect. I tried to mimic this with Micro Shift from Sound Toys, and that sounds a lot wider. This has a really specific, subtle sound to it. So if you're looking for that exact kind of tone, this thing is going to get you really close to what you're looking for. So there we have it, Tony Maserati's vocal width tool that he uses to create some really wide pop vocals without being super obvious. If you have any questions or comments, let me know in the comment section down below. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already, so we can keep you in the loop as to what's coming up next, and I'll see you in the next one.